Hey guys, so I've had a couple of questions about how do traffic signals work and how do you make the pedestrian signals count down. And so today I'm going to explain all that. So we go inside my traffic cabinet here. So this is the inside of my traffic cabinet. This right here is the traffic signal controller, and that's the brains of the intersection. It's got all the settings, it's got all the timings, and there's roughly about 500 settings and timings within that traffic signal controller. This right here is the 24 volt power supply, so this sends 24 volts up to the traffic controller, and then the traffic controller processes this, and then it sends it down to the load switches or switch packs to the intersection. So these take it from 120, or excuse me, these take it from 24 volts DC and upgrade it to 120 volts AC. And how it does it is that there's a series of relays inside of each load switch. So once when the load switch has the necessary 24 volts, it will then click on another set of relays and it'll upgrade to 120 volts. And so then that will, so after it goes through the load switches here, it comes over here to the transfer relays, and this transfers power back and forth between the signal bus, which is this, and the flasher bus, which is those two things right there. After it goes through the transfer relays, it comes over to the malfunction management unit or the conflict monitor in the intersection. And the conflict monitor does several different things. It will make sure that the traffic controller is doing nothing stupid, like trying to output 2 green lights at an intersection, which can happen. It also will, the conflict monitor will also monitor all the external wiring at the intersection. So if you have an accident and a traffic signal pole gets knocked down, intersection goes into flash, that's because this guy here detects that there's an open circuit, and it will immediately turn the signal over to flash for safety reasons. And it does a whole bunch of other neat stuff. Monitors all the voltages, make sure that everything is safe inside of it. And then finally, down here at the bottom, got the input file, and that's basically what's going on the field. So if we look up, we've got cameras, and there's one over there. So the video signal, people always ask me, am I being taped by video cameras? And the thing is, no, you're not. These are nothing more than an input device to the traffic controller to inform the signal controller about the presence of traffic and cars at the intersection. So each one of these Iteris video processing cards has a detection zone set up in it. And once when you walk into a zone, or once when the pixels change in a zone, then it will go ahead and it will place a call up to the traffic signal controller, the guy way up there. And therefore that is how you get a green light at the intersection. This one right here is for railroad preemption. So I actually do have this connected out to my model train layout, and so when the crossing gates do fire on it, this will actually cause the traffic controller to go into a railroad preemption program, so therefore no cars conflict with the train. This is the access card. This is the point where therefore the traffic manager can see. Normally this is where the phase selection cards for the Opticom system go. This is a phase selection card. So with a Opticom, the emergency vehicles have a special strobe light on them. That unit up there sends it down to the phase selection card, and once when the face selection card accepts that emergency vehicle's code, it will then place the call up to the traffic controller, and it will terminate the traffic signal program and give the emergency vehicle the right of way. And so over here too, right here is iTerra's extension models, and these are kind of just set up just for test. So right now I'm actually using the cameras to actually detect pedestrians, and so once a pedestrian walks into the detection zone, it will actually trip the walk signal. And then this card right here is the flash sense and the time stop card. So once when the traffic signal cabinet goes into flash, this will pick up and it sends that information up to the traffic controller. Then the traffic controller will relay that back to the traffic management center. So now, more importantly, people have asked me, how do I get the pedestrian signals to count down? And it's very, very simple. What it is that each pedestrian signal has to relearn the timing every time it starts up. Every time, so after every time I shut off the traffic signal lights, the pedestrian signals have to immediately will learn that countdown, and then it will display that number. And then there's also a little thing on the back. I don't know if you can see it. There's a little port that's got a whole bunch of dip switches on it. And so what that does is that will then determine how you want your pedestrian cycle to be set up. So whether you want it to be counting, whether you want a pre-time setting to be in, whether you want just for it to count down just during the clearance time, or the flash, or the don't walk time, or whether you want it to count down for the whole entire sequence, including when the walk signal is on. So anyway, so I hope that kind of helps anyone who's doing traffic signals. And if you have any questions, just please feel free to comment on my YouTube account. Thanks, guys.